Hello and welcome to my very first vlog. I thought filming short clips from my climbing sessions and then putting them together in one vlog would be a great way to show what my climbing looks like. Today you'll get a glimpse of the children's part of the climbing gym. I enjoy climbing here, even though the routes are usually made for shorter climbers and kids, which, in my opinion, sometimes makes them easier but other times harder, like when you can't even start because your head touches the ground. So now, without further ado, let's go climbing! First route here is 6A. One perk of filming yourself while bouldering alone is that sometimes half of your body is missing from the frame, or things look a bit funny like that. Anyway, this 6A warm-up route was tricky, mainly because it was hard to squeeze myself between the starting holds. In the children's section, both the hands and full holds are marked, so you have to be in that given position. On this route, I was relying quite a bit on friction. You could also use two holds on the wall behind the corner, which are invisible in this video. I also want to use this clip to show something I do as a part of my warm-up. I climb down the same way I went up, from top to bottom. This helps get my muscles and fingers ready, gives me a better sense of what my body is doing and how I'm feeling, and it helps me to focus more. I went straight to this next route, which was 6B. I like routes in corners because I can use the wall itself and it feels more like a game. There is something special about being able to use the wall to push yourself up instead of just relying on classical footholds. Another thing I love about some routes is when you can use other parts of your body, like your knee, thigh or even head, like in my previous video. I really enjoy routes that have a feature where you can lean on something and take a little rest before the top, for example. The second 6B looked harder in theory, but once I committed to the move, it went smoothly. However, there is a part where this route can be more challenging for small climbers because they can't easily reach the top and have to make an extra step. I'm still not fully back to my usual grade. Recovery after the illness is taking more time than I expected. So I'd love to show you some easier routes that I find interesting as a proof that even easy climbs can be fun. As you can see, I was hesitating to put my trust in the hold. Finally, I committed and went for the top. My next goal was to try a 7A. With some horror, I realized it might not be possible for me to send it statically. I'm still working on trusting dynos and giving them my full effort, especially on the first tries. As you can see, I did many attempts before giving myself a break, which is actually another mistake I'm aware of. Instead of resting between tries, I just keep going, which is not the smartest thing to do. Since I wasn't getting anywhere with that route, I moved on to another one, a 5C. That should be easy, right? Well, like I mentioned at the beginning, sometimes being taller can be a disadvantage on routes designed for shorter climbers. I wanted to do it properly, beginning from the starting holds, lowering myself down, but I didn't have enough strength and I even made such a big mistake that I fell and didn't manage to flash the 5C. I ended up trying it from a kind of a weird handstand position. I really enjoy seeing fun moves even on routes for less advanced climbers. Easy climbs don't have to be boring and you need to learn these kind of moves somewhere before you can use them on something like a 7A. After that, the rest of the climb was smooth sailing. At this point, my elbow was still a bit tired. However, I wanted to climb something with a higher grade, something which involves more leg work and balance. That's the perfect time for a slab. I chose a 6C with these beautiful footholds. First, I had to figure out exactly what to do. It was another example of a start that can be awkward for taller people. It threw me a bit of balance. I slowly increased the amount of weight I was putting on my legs as I needed to check how trustworthy the foothold was. The texture wasn't bad, but it still felt a bit sketchy to fully commit to it. I tried a few variations, switching my legs and so on. Starting with my right leg didn't seem like a better option, so I stuck with my first position. I kind of felt like a ballet dancer because of the posture here. Very graceful and elegant. Once I knew it was actually possible to stand on the footholds, I was sure this route was definitely climbable. Just to be sure, I quickly went through the rest of the route. And here's my final attempt. I'm speeding it up a bit, so you don't fall asleep while I'm trying to stay in line and balanced. In the meantime, I want to say something that might be considered a bit controversial by some people in the climbing community. I like slab routes when they are set right. Sure, they can be scary sometimes, but I love that they usually don't rely too much on arm strength, so you can give them more tries and even use them as a bit of a break after more strength-focused climbs. That being said, it definitely doesn't mean they are easy. Slabs can be frustrating and exhausting. Still, I consider a slab one of my favorite types of routes. Then I feel motivated and energized to give my 7A another try. To my surprise, I stuck the dyno and held on to the next hold, something I sometimes fail at when I'm shocked by a sudden success. The middle section of the route wasn't that complicated, and at the second to last hold, my height helped me out again, but I wasn't quite sure how to top it off. At the same time, my right elbow started to hurt from that first move, so I wanted to be cautious. I still need to figure out the finish. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you would do. I'm thinking about committing more, maybe using a heel hook or placing my foot differently, but so far it didn't seem quite it. Who knows, maybe if I'm fresh next time, it'll be easier and I'll send it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this climbing session. Even though I'm still working my way back to my usual level, it's been really fun to share these moments with you. If you like this vlog, give it a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment, especially if you have any tips for that tricky finish. I would love to hear from you. I'm already looking forward to the next video, which should be out sometime next week, so stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. See you soon and happy climbing!